68-year-old woman in hospice care dies hours after PSE&G shut off the power to her home. Now a Newark family is heartbroken, angry, and they want answers. News 12 New Jersey's Alex Zidane has that story.
It was hard seeing her suffer the way she did.
The machines that helped keep Linda Daniels alive were taken away today. The 68-year-old, who relied on an oxygen tank powered by electricity to breathe, died yesterday afternoon, 7 hours after the family claims PSE&G cut off service to her home.
I knew that she would eventually pass because of her condition, but I didn't know that because the lights went off that she would suffer the way that she did.
And we were getting ice, and we were putting ice on her, fanning her, trying to make it cool, but we couldn't pump the oxygen.
Linda had been in hospice care with congestive heart failure since the middle of April. Her family said she was in good spirits, but relied on her oxygen tank to breathe. The hospice nurse said Linda would pass
in God's time.
Did she go in God's time?
I don't believe so.
Linda's 2 children and granddaughter say they don't know why the utility company turned the power off. There was a delinquent balance on their account, but they were trying to pay it down.
We send them the minimum at least $300 every month. The prior month was $300. Last month was $400. This month I gave them $500. And they still cut off the utilities.
Linda's son Sam showed News 12 bank records that he paid PSE&G $500 on July 3rd, just 2 days before the shutoff.
No warning.
No shutoff notice.
No shutoff notice.
Nothing in the mail.
If there was anything in the mail, we may have missed it due to all the complications running back and forth to the hospital and the doctor's appointments.
The power was back on this morning, but this grieving family still had no explanation.
Upset, angry, because I think, you know, my mom would have probably still been alive today if the electric didn't get cut off.
In Newark, Alex Zidane, News 12, New Jersey.
PSE&G does confirm they shut off the power to Linda Daniels' home, and they say they tried to reach the family numerous times due to lack of payment over several months. In a statement, PSE&G says, unfortunately, because there was no response from the customer was shut off. They had not notified us of any medical circumstances in the home. It goes on to say, after the disconnection occurred and we were notified the customer had medical issues, we began the process to reconnect the service. We are reviewing our records to determine what transpired.
YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again to hit you with a video. Now let me say this first of all. This video right here, it really upset me due to the fact what happened to this woman and the fact that there's no value for human life. It's like people do not give a damn about their fellow human beings, and everything revolves around a mighty dollar, like Wu-Tang said. Cash rules everything around it. Cring it. But anyway, we have a story coming out of Newark where we have an elder, we have an old lady who was basically behind on her bills, on her electric bill, and she was on oxygen tank and stuff where she had to have assistance breathing, which requires electricity to make the machine work so she can breathe. This how she lived, you feel me? And the reason why these people cut the lights off in her place was because she was behind a few times, and they said they allegedly called and tried to rectify the situation, try to see what's going on, could they assist her, which I totally do not believe. But what these people do, and I'm knowing that they knew her situation, but they decided to cut her lights off anyway. She didn't have any electricity, so what ended up happening, she ended up succumbing to lack of oxygen, and she ended up dying in her home. And it's a sad situation that this woman was an older woman, and it's like it's no respect for the elders out here. It's no respect for the people out here who have been here before us and who have witnessed things before us. And it's like people just don't give a damn anymore. I'm gonna read a snippet from this story and I'm gonna give my opinion. Surely as we go. Newark woman on oxygen dies 7 hours after electric company shuts off power. Shut the power off on this sick woman. Now, Linda Daniels, Newark, New Jersey woman on oxygen, died 7 hours after her electric company, PSEG, shut off the power to her home. Death occurs 2 days after the family made a $500 installment payment. So I don't know how this woman electric bill was, but at the same time, should have started a GoFundMe for her. They should have put a GoFundMe up. And I know me personally, I would have posted it up. I'm sure somebody would have helped out. I mean, use every option that's available to you. I know sometimes we get mad and we make rational decisions and we be thinking like, well, there's no hope for us. But trust me, if you cry out loud enough, somebody will hear you. Let me just put it that way. Which means if you ask for help, depends on who you ask. 9 times out of 10, people will help you. And due to the technology age, you can get help just like that. Look at the guy, even though he's still going through hell. The guy Reggie, the little 12-year-old that was the police was called on him for basically a mowing a yard, and he mowed a little bit of his neighbor's yard. But look at the amount of help that he received within 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? So somebody would have helped, but at the same time, we cannot help if we do not know. But it just saddens me that I know the family had to have called the electric company if you care about your relatives. Now, I understand also that some people don't care about them relatives. I'm not saying that this family is one of those families, but at the same time, I know and I really believe that these people try to reach out to the company like, look, we're paying on it. We're paying on it. Don't you see we made a $500 installment payment? Which means the bill must have been $1,000, $2,000. Who knows? It had to be high. But anyway, if you pay $500 and they cut it off 2 days later, how much was the bill left due? And also, why didn't the company at least give them a little time due to the nature of what's going on with this woman, her illness? The incident happened Thursday in Newark, New Jersey. Electric company Public Service Enterprise Group, PSEG, cut off the power to 68-year-old Linda Daniels' home around 10 a.m. By 5 p.m., Daniels was dead, just like that. Now, Daniels' family told News 12 New Jersey that she relied on an oxygen tank powered by electricity to breathe. Daniels suffered from congestive heart failure and had been under hospice care since April. PSEG confirmed to News 12 that it did indeed cut off Daniels' power, saying the power was shut off after the company tried to reach the family numerous times. Now, do we know if that's true or not? I doubt that that's very true, because most time they send you out a bill was saying it's going to be a disconnect notice, and then some of them send you out a courtesy of final notice, and that's it. Most of them don't even send you out one, but most companies, some companies do send you out two. Most of them won't even send you out one, a notice, like in case you forgot, we know you're busy, you know, living your life, whatever else. Some of them just come out there and just cut your shit off. They don't give a damn. Anyway, now PSEG, confirmed to News 12 that it indeed cut off Daniels' power. Daniels' family said when the power was shut off, the house became extremely hot. Daniels used her backup oxygen tank, but when that ran out, her family called an ambulance. The family says Daniels died an hour after the ambulance crew left. It is unclear why the first responders left. Why did they leave her in that condition? You don't have an extra tank or something. You don't have nowhere you can go put her. You would have did better just taking her to the hospital until they could work this situation out. That's why I said you have to use your mind. And also, why couldn't Miss Daniels go stay with her own family? That's the key right there. That's the whole key right there. Okay, if the people don't want to do nothing to help your family, remember, that's not PSEG. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be hateful or anything. I'm trying to be balanced. I'm trying to be objective, and that's what I'm going to do. Because if I go to my grandma's house and I see that my grandma is in there and she's hot and it's no electricity, guess what? Grandma, come to my house. I'm sure she has somewhere else she can go. But I know a lot of these older people and my older people, I got older subscribers. A lot of you all don't want to leave the house. I understand that. But at the same time, if it's a life or death situation, make them leave the house. You know what I'm saying? Have other family, that one sister, that one aunt or uncle that can talk to the grandparents. You know what I'm saying? Can talk to their mom and dad. Look, you need to leave, or this gonna happen, this and that. Because they might not listen to you. They might listen to their own children. You know how it goes. But at the same time, why didn't the family make her leave the house? Because I'm sure somebody in Newark, her family, had a house she could go to until this problem was taken care of. Or did they not want their light bill to go up? That might make some people mad, but that's the damn truth. Because it's no difference than you going to a stranger asking for help than you going to your own family asking for help. You might say, well the hospital's supposed to do that. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because guess what? It costs. You have to pay to go to the hospital. Stay in there long enough and see if they'll keep you in there and watch what happens. But I'm saying if she couldn't go to the hospital, why didn't one of her family take her in? Because the key is what? She needed electricity. And I'm sure somebody else in her family had electricity. So why didn't nobody take Big Mama in? Let's go on. The family said Daniels died an hour after the ambulance crew left. It is unclear why the first responders left. Why did PSEG turn off electricity on Linda Daniels' Newark home? Daniels' 2 children and granddaughter have said they don't know why PSEG cut off Daniels' power. They did recognize Daniels had an outstanding balance, but claimed they were working on paying it off. The family's claim appears to contradict the power company assertions that it had reached out a number of times. It wasn't immediately clear who they reached out to. So did the power company contact Daniels' 2 children and her granddaughter? I mean, who did they contact? But at the same time, if you all wasn't staying there, which they most likely wasn't, and you knowing that your mom is in a situation, your grandmother's in a situation, why not say, Mama, come to my house? That's what I would say. You know what I'm saying? If I go check on my grandma today, and her power ain't even got to be off, even if she just want to come to my house, come on. But if I see her in a certain situation, I'm going to get my grandma out of there. Mom, dad, or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Especially the elders. Now, the aunts and uncles, the hell with them. You know what I'm saying? I know some of them watching too. But the hell with them. But my granny, both of them, you know, I'm not going to sit there and say, well, we'll try to work on it. You just make it through the night. No, I wouldn't even take that chance, because look at the situation. And even if she didn't have no respiratory part, no congestive heart failure, where she needed assistance breathing, no oxygen tank, even if the power was still off, would you still want your relatives to be in a condition like that? I'm sure you wouldn't. Now, a further disconcert, the family showed bank records confirming they paid PSEG $500 on Tuesday, just 2 days before the power was shut off. Of note, the New York Daily News reported Daniel's son Sam saying the family having paid the minimum $300 on the account 2 months ago and then $400 last month. It wasn't clear what the outstanding balance was or if the electric company were aware of the seriousness of Daniel's condition and the necessity to continue having her electricity running. Okay, you know how we do. Let's go over this one more time, because you got to make it plain and simple to some people. Now, it says it wasn't clear what the outstanding balance was of the electric company, or if they were aware of the seriousness of Daniel's condition. Now, guess what they said? If the electric company was aware of the seriousness, okay, but it still needs electricity. Still needs electricity. The children should have been aware. The children should have recognized the seriousness in it and said, Mama, come to my house. Mama will still be alive. It's simple as that. I mean, yes, the electric company was wrong for as cutting it off, but at the same time, their rules are their rules. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we live in a messed up society, but if you see your people suffering, why not try to reach down and pick them out of there? That's all I'm saying. And if that offends somebody, well, I'm sorry. Maybe you left your people hanging enough times and you don't see nothing wrong with that. But I see something wrong with that from the electric company and from her relative side, the people that they mentioned. The 2 children and the granddaughter. Somebody could have took Big Mama in that night. That's all I'm saying. Even if she had to sleep on the couch, at least she would have had electricity. Anyway, now the power to Daniel's home was restored Friday morning. The grieving family said they still have no explanation as to why the power was shut off. They cut the power back on after she was dead. What kind of mess is this, man? And then there were these following comments on social media that made this person think, why the hell didn't her family move her to their house or somewhere else that had electricity until the power was restored? What the fuck? WTF. That's the same thing I said, you know. So the family could go to the news to make a story, but couldn't take her to their home or a place with electricity? Exactly. So why didn't the family move her to their house so she could use her electric powered oxygen tanks? And also, sometimes the electric company needs a certain amount of money to keep the power on. Just because they paid the $500 2 days prior doesn't mean it was what they needed to keep it on. They should have answered the numerous times the company called and made them aware of the health issues, as well as setting up some kind of payment plan. From experience, I can tell you the electric company don't care about people's needs, small children. Exactly, I know they don't. Asthma in the home, elderly, etc. All they care about is the almighty dollar. No humanity or care. It is all greed. Yes, that's how it is when you live in a capitalistic society or world. We live in there. That's why I said cash rules everything around me. You can't do shit without a dollar in your pocket. And try dying. Yeah, you could die, but guess what? Somebody have to bury you unless they're going to throw your ass in the woods somewhere. So it costs for you to be born and it costs for you to die. You're going to pay a price from the moment you open your first breath to the moment you take your last breath. Somebody got to pay for it. Now, it seems to be that the family didn't take care of this lady in need. Was the electric company aware of this lady's situation? My guess is no. Did the family take care of her situation? Nope, because she's not here. Now, who is legally responsible? But at the same time, forget the legally. Who is morally wrong? If you picture this, and I'm going to make it so sweet and so simple that you could just taste it on the tip of your tongue. If you go to your mom's house, if you go to your dad's house, if you go to your grandma's house, or you go to your grandfather's house, and you see them in the dark with no electricity on, or you know their electricity finna get cut off, and you see them got tubes going up in their nose and stuff, and going down to an oxygen tank, which is plugged up in a wall, would you sit up there knowing that they finna cut this power off? Would you leave your grandmother or mom there sitting in that house, or your grandfather? And if you say yes, I mean, you's a worthless piece of you know what. But at the same time, a decent person, a rational thinking person wouldn't have done that. Now, I understand when people get old, family throw them away. You know what I'm talking about. Now, don't get me to preaching up in here. Family would discard you as you get older. I understand it also. But I'm sure instead of placing all the blame on the electric company, because they're a business, but don't you supposed to be what? Family? You know what I'm saying? I mean, can somebody understand that? You want the electric company to operate in a caring family capacity when it's a business. It's a corporate organization. But at the same time, you won't do what you're supposed to do for each other, which is love one another, look out for each other. Okay, you ain't got no food, come to my house and eat. But don't you know, have you ever was hungry before in your life when you was younger, older, whatever? Who cares? You lost your job, whatever. You needed something to eat, and you go ask your people for something to eat, they won't even give you nothing to eat. But the moment you get some, that's when they all come around. I'm telling you, this shows you right here, and I got to say it. Most, not all, because there's still some good families out there that stay together. But most families ain't shit these days. So let the blame fall where it may. I'm just here to deliver the news. And Miss Linda Daniels, it's very sad that this woman lived through all this and died by a past due bill, when somebody only thing they had to say, come to my house. Because it's not like she died of a heart attack. She died because there was no electricity. That could have easily been solved. Let me know what you all think about this story. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, definitely share the story and definitely subscribe to the channel. And I'm telling you this right now. Look, take assessment over who in your life that you can count on. Just because you the same blood does not mean that you family. You know what I'm saying? Kinfolk always, most of the time, it's not your skin folks, which means just because you come from the same tree, the same stars, does not mean that you share the same goals, the same ideas, and have the same love and compassion for one another. I'm telling you, that's just how it is, and that's why society is the way it is today. That's why family is the way it is today, because most people do not give a damn no more. But when something happened, they want to blame everybody else. But all you gotta do, turn around, look in the mirror. Because like I told you all, if I go to my grandma's house, or if you go to your grandma's house and you see her on the machine, and you know that any time now they're going to cut her power off, would you not reach out and help save your grandmother? And then she dies, make a excuse talking about, well, the company should have did this. You have to understand, that's a company. You supposed to be the family. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day. Y'all stay woke. And at the same time, take time to reflect out who really loves you and who really got your back, and them the ones you focus on. And these other ones, just because your cousins, you brothers, you sisters, don't mean nothing. Cousins and brothers and sisters kill each other every single day. Well, I'm trying to tell you, surround yourself with good people, so when the time comes, because show as you plan to live, like the old folks say, you're going to get old. I'm going to get old one day. You're going to get old one day. And would you want to have somebody there that you know you can depend on in your old age? Sure you do. If not, you'd be crazy. Anyway, y'all have a good day. I'm out.